We'll still stay with the strike by the nurses and midwives because the National Labour Commission, in its bid to enforce an injunction secured on June 5 against this ongoing strike by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, has now obtained an order for substituted service. Now, this follows unsuccessful attempts to serve the injunction on the association in person. To help us understand this latest development, we're joined by the phone lines by Assistant Public Relations Officer of the National Labour Commission, Julia Puabovi. Julia, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. First of all, what were the difficulties you encountered in trying to serve this injunction on the nurses and midwives, and if you can tie in what has prompted this substituted service?
All right. Good evening to you and to your listeners and viewers. As you are aware, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association have embarked on a strike, and the Commission had earlier scheduled a hearing with them on the 4th of June 2025 to go into the matter, but they were not present. And so the Commission went ahead to declare the strike as illegal and directed that they call off the strike. Prior to that, they were served the Commission's directive to call off the strike with immediate effect, as well as to return to their respective facilities immediately, and to continue with engagement on the implementation of their collective agreement and report back to the Commission on the 25th of June 2025. However, they still went ahead to embark on a strike action or continue with their strike action. So we secured an interlocutory injunction on them to compel them to call off the strike with immediate effect, which wasn't done. Through our dispatch clerks, we have attempted serving them severally in person, but then we were able to reach them mostly through their WhatsApp contacts, which we serve them through WhatsApp as well, and on their notice boards. But then there were indications, or they indicated that they weren't served officially, so they were not going to call off the strike action. And that prompted the Commission to go to court for an order for substituted service so that we can find another means of serving the interlocutory injunction on them, as well as to direct them to call off the strike with immediate effect, taking into consideration that they are an essential service. And it's very important that they call off the strike so that they can, first of all, appear before the negotiation table to discuss how to go about the implementation of the collective agreement, as well as to attend to the Ghanaian workers who seek medical services at their respective facilities.
Do you suspect that the nurses deliberately avoided you in trying to serve this injunction on them?
There are some school of thought that believe that it may have been a deliberate attempt to avoid us having a direct contact with them. But then, as it stands, we cannot speculate the reason why that has been done so far. But our duty is to make sure that there is a peaceful, harmonious, and industrial relations environment, and we will do so by complying with the laws of the country and undertaking certain legal procedures. If that would ensure that we maintain a peaceful and harmonious industrial relations environment, which we have done to ensure. So by this order for substituted service, which we have served them through their WhatsApp numbers, that is the President of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, as well as the General Secretary's line, as well as the office premises, we have served them. And through the media, so we believe we have been able to serve them and serve them appropriately. So the expectation is that they will call off their strike action with immediate effect. That is the expectation.
There's the argument that this injunction does not address the root cause of this strike. You're talking about conditions of service. How is the Commission dealing with this substantive issue of conditions of service?
All right. As you are aware, the Commission is an adjudicating body. And then when the union first wrote to the Commission on their intention to embark on a strike action, the Commission invited parties to appear before it so that they can go into the matter and then make a determination on it. However, unfortunately for us, they were unable to appear before the Commission, so the Commission could not go into the matter. And that is of no fault of ours. So that is where we are, and we expect, and the Commission has directed their employers to engage with them on the implementation of the collective agreement. So that is what we are. That is what we know that the employer is engaging with them currently on the implementation of their collective agreement.
Okay.
And they are meant to report back to the Commission on the 25th. So on 25th, we'll get a status report on the level of engagement and maybe timelines for the implementation of the collective agreement.
Okay. What about timelines for the nurses to return to the wards? Is there a period the Commission has set for them to get back to work? And if they don't, what would be the next line of action by the NLC?
All right, so they are supposed to call off the strike with immediate effect. And if they don't, this is a court order. If they fail to comply with it, the Commission would know what next line of action to take. And their refusal to even comply with this court order means they're in contempt of court. So I'm of the opinion that they will comply with it appropriately.
All right, I'm grateful to you, Julia Pauvi, the Assistant Public Relations Officer of the National Labour Commission. We understand that the nurses are currently held in a National Executive Committee meeting. The hope is that at the end of this meeting, they will finally call off this strike.